Hello, welcome to Lesson 5, the ship lesson. This one is about parenting and how to control parenting and a few of the effects. We're not going to use pick whipping in this for parenting because we don't need to, not on this one. Because everything's going to be moving independently more or less, even though we're going to be using parenting. This is an example of the ship lesson as it appears in your example in your folder. The second Mustang that comes in is actually the parent of the comp that you see with the ship and the asteroid. The Mustang that came in actually scaled from this on the screen, forcing the composition that you're looking at right there to scale as well. And then this is how it ends right here. Just a little bit of a shatter effect, no big deal. And it's neat how to actually control the shatter effect if I haven't already told you. But this is what I did with it. So I used, and then the last page of the assignment guide, I used a little, several layers of film effects and some film grain and whatever, but this is how it looks. It's almost like a Flash Gordon now type of look where this was done in the early 1930s, 1940s, and it kind of looks good here in that effect. It kind of goes with the genre, even though consider that a Flash Gordon thing, which is, if you any of you know Flash Gordon, go ahead and Google Flash Gordon and you'll see some pretty cool stuff from science fiction at that point. But let's get right into it without delay, okay? Let me close these because I don't need them. In my movie, I'm going to name everything on screen. I've already gotten the final comp done here, of course, if I have to refer to it, and then there's my main comp with nothing on it. To start off with, we're going to work on the building layer. So what I want to do is just bring this up on screen and show you that we, instead of importing this and retaining layer sizes, we're going to import this as a composition, but I want to keep the original size of the Photoshop layers so that every building is in relationship to that original size, not independent of its own size. So follow this, and we're going to go from step 1 all the way on this to this position, and I'm going to keep this on screen so I can kind of come back and show you this. But this is where you're starting the buildings. This is where you're ending the buildings. So if this is before we parent, okay, before we parent. So we're going to make the composition wider, and then we're going to parent once we get it in the position where I'm circling on the bottom of the after one, okay? The only thing I wanted to say is, if your buildings are not becoming in the right order, then you imported it incorrectly. So go back and do it. It's not going to take you that long. So we're going to double click this. Mine will come in as building art 3, and I'll have to rename it because I already have it in there. But let's change it from footage, not retaining layer sizes, just the composition. So here, just leave it alone, leave it as a composition. And when it comes in, you're going to see that each of the buildings kind of look up here. Let me zoom into this. Look up here, and when I open up this, whoops, wrong. When I open up the buildings, you can see that each building that I'm clicking on is retaining its layer size in relationship to the building next to it. So it has a position based on the center anchor point, and that's really what we're concentrating on, is the position of where the anchor point is, of course. Now, let's position those buildings correctly. Now, I told you this was going to come in as building comp 3. I want to name building comp 2. So let me double click it and let's begin. Okay, there's your composition, and it's not big enough, so we have to hit Command K and make this 3000 pixels. Make sure that lock aspect ratio is not selected, and let's go to 800 and then 25 seconds. So that's 2500 in the duration, and we have everything done. Cool. Let's hit Command S to save. Now let's reposition the buildings as we need to. Okay, so I'm going to go just quickly refer to that one page, but I'm going to do what it says first, which is to hit the P key so that we show all positions. Then I'm going to click on second right, and then I'm going to hit Shift S because that's the only one that I want to actually get bigger. So let's go to the handout so that you can see what I'm referring to here. Up here it says change the scale of second right first. So if you look over here in the scale, it's 125%. Then just start and make all of the positions the way I have on this page. Now I'm going to do this on screen for you, and then we're going to quit this movie if I can get it done fast enough. We're going to quit this movie, maybe go to one more step so that you can have real short movies to watch. So as I said, this one gets 125%. So that building just got larger. Okay, now let's start with the first one, and it's 1343 by 411. So let me go 1343 tabbing to 411. Then I'm going to hit tab here to go to the right one, which is 1707 tabbing to 408. And then I'm going to continue down the whole list until my position is correct. 1525, and that one is 330. If I get any of these wrong as you are looking at mine, would you please tell me? I had to hit tab 4 times there. 3 left is 1475 by 411. So 1475 to 411, tabbing to the next one, which is 2 left, which is 1361 by 406. 1361 tabbing to 406, tabbing to 4 left, which is 1483 by 413. 1483 by 413. Then the next one is 3 left, which is 1527 and 414. Then the next one is 4 right, which is 1507. Hopefully I'm on that one. Yes, I am. And let's go, what did I say? 1507 by 411. And then the last one is 1500, which it already is, by 408. Now, I gave you a before. Let me hit the return key. I gave you a before and an after. Okay, so your after should appear like this. If it doesn't, then you imported it incorrectly. Okay, so everything kind of lined up on the bottom, everything kind of looking okay. You can. I'm not going to say that you can manually make it right, but why don't you just import it correctly so that the numbers come in correctly? I know I just hit save. I'm going to hit it again. The next page, here's my paper shuffling noise, is the parenting step, and then I'll quit this movie. Now let me go to the next page on the handout so you parent this correctly. And while I'm talking about parenting, should you ever make a mistake in this handout, oops, right there. Should you ever make a mistake in this handout and you need to fix the size of something after it was parented, always go back to the original position of where something was, so it's the right size or the right position of itself, if that makes sense, and unparent, then fix, then reparent, but don't unparent if something is down in the timeline and it's already become bigger, because then you're going to be all messed up. Okay, now it says click on the left layer, click and hold on the X and Y input for position, and move your mouse to the left and right to see how only the left moves. Don't have to do that because the left one is going to move only. Okay, now make sure the left is in position still indicates 1343 by 411. Then change the parent ownership for second right through the center layers as indicated by this page right here. Okay, so let's minimize this. If parenting is not visible, I do want you to know where to go get it. You can click over here and you can go to columns and you can make sure parent is visible, because the buttons down here on the bottom left of the timeline don't control parent. Okay, for some reason if a student turned off parent, now you know where to go get parent. So to get my head together here, left and right are going to be the parents, so obviously we don't have to do anything. Now it would be easier for me if I just shut the position down, but I'm going to click on second right and I'm going to see that second right, the number 2 right is controlled, I know that's confusing, by the second number 2 right. So 2 right is controlled by the second layer, which is the right layer. Now let's go down to 3 left. 3 left is controlled by the second right one, 2. So let's go to 2 left, and that is by the first left one. Okay, let's go down, let me click on it, to 4 left. I'm just going to try to stay organized here, and that's controlled by the right one. Let's go down to 3 right, and that's controlled by the left one. Let's go down to 4 right, and that's controlled by the right one. And finally, the center one is controlled by the left one. Now, why I did that is what I'm going to do now is manually move it, but I'm going to hit Command Z. I'm going to move the left one so you see, maybe I can get this bigger on screen, so you see there. which one controls which one. Now see how the left one moves those 4 buildings? See that? That's going to make for a nice effect as it works across the screen. It'll give it kind of a 3D look. As we zoom in, it'll make it look like the camera is zooming in, and we'll have a pretty cool look. But I'm going to Command Z back. Now I'm going to move the right one. So the right one controls those buildings or the other buildings. So let's hit Command S to save. Now it says on number 9, before we move to the next step, make sure each layer's in and out point actually extends from 0, 0 to 2, 5. So make sure that your in and out points extend all the way over. Let me click on this left one. Let me make this smaller on screen. Let me click on the right one. And if you've made a mistake, learn how to fix things together. So let's say, for the heck of it, that your timeline wasn't correct there. Let's say that yours all started here. You could hit the home key and hit the left bracket, and they'll all snap into that point. Now let's say that your out points, option right bracket, were here, and you go, oh darn, and you want to make sure that every one of these is going to the 25th second. So hit the end button and hit option right bracket, and then you will snap everything into that position. So quick keys are really important. I will see you in movie 2.